How you going, people? So these guys are going out and they set up stings, not government. These are civilians. And they set up these stings. They record all the interactions. They get them to meet these girls who identify as being underage. And then the people hook up with them knowing they're underage. And then they end up busting them and calling the cops. And it's pretty good. And there's some legal issues that cops couldn't do, which they can do. So let's take a look at this for a second.
Yeah, you're done.
Listen, let's take a seat real quick. We monitor online activity between minors and adults.
What the fuck?
Our job isn't here to get people in trouble. Our job is to protect children.
You okay?
We want to make sure you're not a threat to children.
Shit.
What are you doing here?
Whoa.
What are you doing here,
fuck?
Okay, so when these two guys get on both sides of him and start questioning him and badgering him a little bit, law enforcement could not do this. This would be a violation of governments violating your Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate yourself and not to answer questions. Government would have to advise him of his rights because we suspect him of a crime. Therefore, we're detaining him. When we sit on both sides of him, a normal person would think they couldn't leave if these guys were cops. In this case, he's not considered detained by government. I'm not even sure he's considered detained. These guys are sitting next to him. He doesn't get up and say, leave me alone and walk away. He sits there and talks to him. His mistake. But these guys could make such a stronger case if they handled this differently. Guys that prey on young girls like that are usually very weak and pussy. And if you attack them, you shut them down. These guys, if you'll notice through this clip, this guy gets more information from him than this guy. This guy's outraged. How could you? He's attacking him. He shuts him down instead of letting him incriminate himself. This guy talks a little bit more personal to him, and he gets more information. So if these guys, somebody wants to forward this video to these guys, dude, you guys are doing good work. I appreciate it. But if you want to make it easier for the prosecution and you really want to get these guys locked in to where they can't get out of it in court, get all these admissions. Let the bad guy talk. Ask him questions calmly and like you're his friend and that you understand. Don't be outraged. Don't be sick. I mean, when you're dealing with child predators, you can either act like, we used to tell guys, look, man, I get it. She's really cute. I like young girls too. We would sympathize with them, make them think that we think like they think and that they're not abnormal, and then they would drop their guard and want to talk. But if you're badgering him, he's not going to want to talk, and the less he talks, the weaker your case. Now you got texts and you got this, you got a few admissions. You got a pretty good case. The more he talks, the better case prosecutions can go against him. The more you guys talk, the less it helps prosecution. Because you guys can talk later. When I show up as a cop, I can interview you guys later and you can tell me everything you want to do and how outraged you are. I can't talk to him anymore because when I show up, he's probably going to say, I want a lawyer, I don't want to talk. And he's going to shut down. So the only thing I'm going to have is what he said to you two before government showed up. So again, doing good jobs. Let's listen to these guys.
He's fucked. He knows it.
But then you said, screw it, 15, not too far off.
You are naked. Play with your pussy like I would if I was there.
Right, because I thought I was on.
So you just lied to me. You said you're going to get ice cream, bro.
Okay, so they got an admission. Yeah, he said that, and then he immediately confronted him and shut him down. So you just lied to me. They're trying to be good cop, bad cop. This would have been a perfect opportunity to say, if you wanted her to masturbate, obviously you were going to have sex with her when you met her, right? And he would have probably said, well, yeah. And you were actually sexually gratified when she was playing with herself, correct? Yes. Now we're getting into the legal aspects of, was he doing this for sexual arousement or gratification? Because that's usually what your sexual crimes we need to prove in court. But you guys keep kind of shutting him down. And look, I'm not cracking on you guys, but I'm just telling you how to make it easier to get this guy in prison longer.
No, you keep saying you're under the impression, but how old did she say she was?
Ask her where I was going to take her right now.
But
that's how the date starts.
How old did she say she was?
Yeah.
What does that end email mean?
Which one?
This
yeah,
one?
that one.
What does that mean?
I'm a police officer.
That's what I thought.
You're a police officer?
Yeah.
Where?
Miami-Dade.
You're going to notice when the cop shows up, she pulls a gun. He's armed. He's got a gun behind his back. This is a enhancement that he is committing a crime while armed and with a gun. So this is twofold. One, that's going to get him more prison time and a higher charge. But on these guys' aspect, they never noticed the bulge or that he had that. And immediately, as soon as he said he's he was a cop, my first thought was, are you armed now? That would have been my next question. Now I get these guys aren't cops, so I immediately went, are you armed now? Do you have a gun? Are you going to hurt me? Why did you bring a gun to this? You brought a gun to meet a 15-year-old that you wanted to have sex with? I would be asking so many incriminating questions to elicit an incriminating response because it makes my case stronger. You guys can do this without the government protections. You don't have to give him Fifth Amendment right. You're not government. You don't have power over him. Therefore, you can do anything you want and it can still be admissible in court.
Miami-Dade police officer?
Yeah, no, look.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Look. Here, listen.
You're here to serve and protect, and you're caressing a 15-year-old's face?
Dude.
Holy fuck. You're active duty?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Miami-Dade? What is your biggest concern right now?
Holy.
Be honest.
What
Getting exposed.
Getting exposed? That's the fucking problem. Your biggest concern is getting exposed.
See, now this guy wants to preach to him about telling him his feelings are wrong, which I got no problem with that, but that doesn't help the case. When he said getting exposed, that would have been a perfect opportunity to go, well, if you wouldn't want to be exposed, obviously you know this is wrong and illegal, right? Yeah. And that's why you're fearful of being exposed. Yes. Great incriminating statement. He can't say later, oh, I thought she was older. I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I brought my gun because I didn't know who I was meeting. I didn't want... You take away all his defense by just asking more incriminating questions and getting him to talk and admit shit.
Exposed, not the safety of a child, not in danger, putting her in danger. That should be your biggest concern.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay?
I can't say anything else. And I take...
Are you a road patrol in Miami-Dade?
No.
What are you?
I'm not going to say any much more about that.
So these guys are more concerned about where he works and what his job is, which we're going to find out later. Keep him talking about why he's meeting, what his plans were, why he doesn't want to be exposed. Keep him talking on those topics. That makes a better case.
I mean, I'm gonna find out.
You're going to find out, but that's...
Are you a sergeant?
Now.
You are.
That's all I'm going to say.
You
right
are
now.
a sergeant, aren't you? I can tell. How long have you been a sergeant for?
I'm not going to say any more on that. I'm done with that. Listen, I've given you guys what you wanted. I admitted to what happened. I admitted to what...
Well, no. What I want to know is, have you ever been with a 15-year-old before?
No.
How do I know that?
But let me ask you.
Okay, so that was a pretty good question, although it was said more antagonistic and authoritarian. It would have been, you know what, guy, I get it. I mean, I'm just wondering, how many times have you been with a 15-year-old? Obviously, this isn't your first time. How many times before? I'm just curious. And he might have said 4 or 5 times. Great. Now I have other leads and I can find 4 or 5 other victims. But they don't get that admission because they're attacking him and he's shutting down.
If you work for the police station, why would you do that? You're...
So now, before he can answer this guy cuts him off and starts talking about the cop.
Because I was hoping she was 18. I'm being honest with you. The 2 sites I met her on, one time she said she was 24. And if you go through her
But how many
screenshots-
child predators did you catch in your career? Be honest.
About 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Did you like what you saw?
I'm being honest.
It's always the teacher,
go through screenshots
the
here for a
cops,
second. Go through
the
screenshots for a
actors.
second.
It's
Go
the same
up to where
fucking
the-
story,
go to
guys.
her
Miami
hard-
Beach Police
Go
Department.
to the
That's
hard
crazy.
account.
Are you happy you're caught?
Bro,
We got a cop right here, Miami-Dade police officer.
Miami-Dade police officer.
So this ponytail police shows up. She's a sergeant. I gotta admit, she does ask, like most cops, their first thing is, are you armed? She does ask and take his gun.
Active.
Fucking
Sergeant.
piece of shit.
I do. No, I'm not reaching for it.
Now that was a little not smart because right here,
Police officer. Active.
Fucking
Sergeant.
piece of shit.
so I think she says, are you armed? The cop immediately wants to give her a gun. Her gun hand is her right hand. It should be on her gun. And instead she puts her gun hand on him. This is a perfect opportunity for a experienced thug who's been in prison or a cop. She's got her hand off her gun. I've got my hand on my gun. All I got to do is grab her arm and take her gun or grab her arm and shoot her. Very lackadaisical, poor officer safety. We won't get into the ponytail police getting hired because they sit down to pee and how incompetent they are. But let's move on.
Hey. Hey, get a picture. No, get a... Yeah, she's gonna press charges.
All right.
You don't care?
Guys, what you're doing now is drama because I've already admitted to it. I've already accepted it. I've even confessed on camera for it. This is going to be damning as hell.
Why don't you tell her what you...
Because you guys haven't recorded. She can watch it back.
She's gonna... No, it's all good.
That's my whole point, that I'm done. I get it. I understand.
Bring you over to my car.
So she didn't cuff him. She doesn't place him under arrest. She kind of escorts him off. Not sure what that's all about. If you read it, it says he was charged with battery. Doesn't say sexual battery of a minor. It just says battery. So evidently, if you read this post, it says he was busted. 15-year-old girl in movie theater. Diaz arrested after meeting up. The female who was part of Sing 561 Predator Catchers told him she was 15. Despite this, Diaz reportedly kept massaging her. That's the battery. Masturbating during their FaceTime calls. I'm not sure if that would fall under battery. When they met in person, Diaz reportedly kissed her, touched her all over her upper chest. He grabbed her tits, even though she said no. I don't know why this guy wasn't in cuffs. You talk to the victim, he committed sexual battery on who he thought was a 15, even though she may be an adult, which I think she is. This guy should have easily been charged with sexual battery. But it said Diaz was charged with battery. That's not good. That's a very low charge compared to sexual battery. If you want to contact the sheriff's office, Rosie Cortez, Schultz, whatever. Okay, so according to CBS Miami, this guy was a Miami-Dade sheriff's office lieutenant. He wasn't a sergeant, he was a lieutenant. So all the Back the Blue crowd, this is the guy who reviews officers' excessive force. This is the guy who reviews officers who are inappropriately touching their in-custody people they arrest and they get complaints filed on them. This is the guy that reviews it after the sergeant says, I don't think anything's wrong. And then they send it to lieutenant, and lieutenant doesn't think anyone wrong. And then you got idiots running around saying, back the blue, we need to trust them all. This is outrageous. The sheriff, of course, anytime they get caught, he comes out with this few thing. After reviewing the information, I have directed termination proceedings immediately. The deputy has been relieved of duty without pay. Effective any other videos, we trust the badge, blah, 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 blah. And they're pursuing it. The guy was only charged with battery. This is bullshit. This guy should have been easy. So the girl was 24 years old, and she was posing as a 15-year-old. He thought she was 15. He was texting her as a 15-year-old, and he met her as a 15-year-old. And when he grabbed her titties and her chest and kissed her when she said no, he thought he was dealing with a 15-year-old. And yet, the DA only charges with battery because he's a police lieutenant. Absolutely outrageous. Y'all have a good one. Well, in that there.